So with this deck, you have got quite a lot of variety. So, for instance, I like to go into the Rose Dragon, into the Riddy Rose Dragon, which is possible in one turn. But then also, if you do get a bad hand, you've still got quite a lot of variety, like level 5s and level 6s in this deck, which will help you kick off the duel. So, for our first hand, we have got Roxy Rose, White Rose, Lone Fire Blossom, another Lone Fire Blossom, and a Monster Reborn. Which this is a fucking this is a good hand, I can tell you that. So you can do to play what I said. For instance, you can go into your level 7 to your level 10, so your Black Rose into your Riddy Rose, which that is the play I will show you first. So what you do first is you would summon your White Rose Dragon, and then use White Rose Dragon's effect. You can special summon a Rose Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, which you would summon your Roxy Rose Dragon. Which then Roxy Rose Dragon's affected. So this card is normal or special summoned. As it was special summoned by this card, you can add one card that specifically this Black Rose Dragon in its text. Which I like to go for this specific card as it also helps you get into your level 10 a lot easier. So Basil Rose Shot is one of your go-to cards to grab from Roxy Rose's effect. And I also have Monster Reborn in my hand. I've still got tons of plays I could do. So which now I could Synchro Summon my level 3 Roxy and my level 4 White Dragon to go into a level 7. Which you've got your Black Rose Moonlight Dragon or your Rose Dragon. Which in this scenario, I would go into Black Rose Dragon. So it's like a first turn. Not using Black Rose Dragon's effect, you can then activate your Basil Rose Shot to re-special summon your Roxy Rose Dragon. Which then you can also Synchro Summon your Roxy Rose and your Black Rose off to finally go into your level 10 Riddy Rose. Or if you feel like it, you can go into your Virtual World or your Trishula, which I normally go for. It's quite a common play in this deck. I do that and just go straight into Riddy Rose Dragon. And then you would end your turn there. But then for your next turn, you would still have Monster Reborn, 2 Lone Fire Blossoms, and your Rose Girl. So for this scenario, what I could do is I can normal summon my Lone Fire Blossom. Use Lone Fire Blossom's effect. You can tribute it to add 1 plant monster from your tribute it to. Once per turn, you contribute 1 face-up plant monster to special summon 1 plant monster from your deck. So you normally tribute this off to summon, in this scenario, because actually we're in a good position with Monster Reborn in our hands, I would probably go for the World Carrot Weight Champion, considering he's a level 4. And if you send to the graveyard, you can send 1 plant monster from your hand or face up to the field to the graveyard to re-special summon it. So with that on the field now, we can use our Monster Reborn to grab anything from the graveyard. So you can grab either your Roxy Rose Dragon, as you can grab it and use its effect again, which is probably going to be our best play in this scenario. Which then Roxy Rose Dragon's effect is going to activate, allowing me to grab a card that specifically lists Black Rose Dragon in its text. So I would go for yeah, I would go for probably Basil Rose Shot again, so I can keep kicking my plays off. Which then you could go into a 7, which is probably what I'm going to do. So, Synchro Summon these two off to summon Moonlight Dragon. And then as well, if you wanted to, you can just sell it and then end your turn, because this is quite a good field. Or you can activate it now to then resummon, say for instance, your Roxy Rose Dragon, which then you can also use World Carrot Weight Champion's effect from the graveyard. So you can special summon it by sending a plant from your hand to the graveyard. So I would probably send my Rose Girl. And then I would resummon the plant World Carrot Weight Champion. And then if you want to, you can go to another 7, which in this case, as just for demonstrations, I will. So I will send these two off to Synchro Summon into, or you can Link Summon, which I'm probably not going to do, but for demonstrations, I'm going to go into my Rose Dragon deck, or my Black Rose Dragon. And then I'd end my turn there. That is it for the first test hand. Let's get into test hand number 2. Alright, we're back. So let's see what our second test hand gives us. For the first test hand, which was only 2 turns, it was actually a really good hand. So let's see what we could do with this. Basil Rose Shot, Rose Girl, Roxy Rose Dragon, World Carrot Weight Champion, and Lonefire Blossom. Which with this hand is actually, yeah, this hand is workable. Because what you can do is, you've got Basil Rose Shot, so you can normal summon your Rose Dragon, use its effect to grab a spell card that specifically lists, but you've already got that in your hand. So what you could do is, you can normal summon your Lonefire Blossom, use Lonefire Blossom's effect to tribute it to special summon a plant monster from your deck. So you could summon, or as the 1 copy of World Carrot Weight Champion is in my hand, I would go for my Rose Princess. And now, as I have a 2-knot on the field, that's basic. As I have a 2-knot on the field, or a non-tuner, sorry, what you can do is you can activate Basil Rose Shot to summon your Roxy Rose Dragon from your hand. Using Roxy Rose Dragon's effect, I'll probably grab another Basil Rose Shot. Which then, you can do the magnificent play of Synchro Summoning. So Synchro Summoning these two to go into a level 6. You can go into your Splendid Rose. Which Splendid Rose has the effect of once per turn, you can banish 1 plant monster from your graveyard and target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and half its attack until the end of this turn. And then during your battle phase, if this card attacked, you can banish 1 plant monster from your graveyard and then half this card's attack until the end of the turn. And if you do, this card can make a second attack, which is a decent effect. I'm not sure about the second effect because it'll be 1200 and normally your opponent would have something stronger. But the first effect of banishing 1 plant monster and halving your opponent's monster's attack is a really good fucking effect in this scenario. And then I'd probably end up setting one of my Basil Rose shots, and then I would end my turn. So your opponent would do his turn, and then what you could do is you could flip this up, but I'm not going to because I'd wait till my turn, which then you'd draw into Lone Fire Blossom, which is actually a really good draw. Then what I would do is I will normal summon World Carrot Champion, and then I would activate Basil Rose Shot from my hand because I've got two of them. Then I would use its effect to grab the Roxy Rose Dragon from my grave. Then I'd use Roxy Rose Dragon's effect to add, get out of the field, to add from my deck my last Basil Rose Shot. You can add anything else, but I'd just like to grab this card because it is a great card to continue your plays. So add that to my hand. Then I can Synchro Summon this and this off to Synchro Summon into a level 7. So I will Synchro Summon into my Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, which is a great 2400 attack. And not only that, if this card is special summoned or a level 5 or higher monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, target one special summon monster your opponent controls and return that target to the hand, which is a great effect for stalling them for popping off. And that is it for my turn. So in 2 turns for this one, I got my Moonlight Dragon and I got my Splendid Rose, which then I've also got a Basil Rose Shot, and this is the hand you would end up with. That is it for hand 2. Let's get into our final hand 3. Right, let's see what our third and final hand has to offer for this video. Basil Rose Shot, Rose Dragon, another Basil Rose Shot, Frozen Rose, and Rose Lover. I am not going to lie, this hand is interesting. Obviously, we've got 2 plants. We've got our Frozen Rose, which we could use to pop off. Let's see, so what we can do is we can normal summon our Rose Lover. Then we can use Frozen Rose's effect. You can send one face up monster you control, and then you can activate one of these effects by disc. If it's a plant monster, during the end phase, you can draw 2 cards. If it's a non-plant, you can add 1 level 4 or lower. So honestly, in this situation, what I would do is I would send this to the grave, and then I would draw 2 cards. Which we got Mind Control and the White Closeter. Which is actually, it's not a bad play, considering you can use Mind Control to take control of one of your opponent's monsters, which will then help you with your plays. So what we've got Basil Rose Shot, we've got Rose Girl, which honestly, this isn't a good hand. But considering we our first 2 hands, what we got, this is actually really, it's a bit of an improvement. So what I would do is I would set these 2. Then I'll play my field spell. Then I would just end my turn there. Your opponent would do his turn, and if you don't get OTK'd, if you get lucky, you would draw into something like this, something you'd actually need. So what you can do is we could normal summon. Actually, no, what we could do differently is we could activate our, we can normal summon our Roxy Rose Dragon, and we can use Roxy Rose Dragon's effect to add, if you couldn't guess, our favourite cards, Basil Rose Shot. Or that is actually kind of it, what you can really grab in this deck. Which seems small, but as you've seen in the last two hands, Basil Rose Shot can come in handy. This card. So we'll add that to our hands. And I'm not gonna lie, like, this hand is quite a struggle. So honestly, that would be it. So if your opponent did control a monster, you could use Mind Control to take control of it, and if it was a decent enough level, you could Synchro Summon with it. But apart from this, like, that's it for this hand. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it answered a few questions on combos you can do. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.